So, I know some of you have probably heard this question before. You probably have met someone with this catastrophic, flawed logic, this lazy question, right? About what we Africans doing with their oil, with their hydrocarbons, iron, in fact, all their natural resources. What were they doing with them before the Europeans came to Africa? Some even say Africans didn't even know what they were. They didn't even know these things were valuable until Europeans told them they were valuable. If not, why didn't Africans mine these resources and use them before Oyinbo people can't tell us what they be? Because they can't show us, before they can't show us. It sounds smart, right? But it's actually one of the laziest questions ever asked, one of the dumbest questions ever. Now, let me dumb it down for all of you still having that kind of colonial mindset, all of you with this black skin, white mask frame of mind. Let me dumb it down for you. You see, 600 years ago, nobody was doing anything with crude oil. Nobody was doing anything with hydrocarbons. Not in Africa, not in Europe, not anywhere in the world. Nobody was doing anything with hydrocarbons. Because back then, Europe didn't even know what crude oil was. Their ships ran on wind. Their lamps burned on whale fat. Their economies ran on slave labor, African slave labor. Oil wasn't part of the global economy. So asking what Africa was doing with it is like asking what England was doing with microchips in the 1400s. Sounds crazy, right? That question exposes the mindset, the very belief that African worth must always be measured by European timelines. That's the psychology of conquest, to make you feel backward for not inventing what they hadn't invented either back then. What was Africa doing when Igbo people came? Were they doing the same thing? And please miss me with this lazy, what are we doing? What are we doing since Oyinbo left, since we got independence? Miss me with that guilt line. Because anyone in their right senses knows Europe never left Africa. So the point isn't that we lacked oil refineries. It's that we had our own system. Iron smelting, city-states, trade, networks, medicine, philosophy, until Europe disrupted them to build its own power. So no, they didn't come to help us use our oil. They came to control it. And now, centuries later, they are still controlling it. So I want you to remember, Africa wasn't waiting to be discovered. Africa was interrupted. Before the Portuguese came to the coast of Guinea in the 1400s, African kingdoms had already built empires, civilizations. When they came to Benin, they saw the civilization, they saw the wall, they saw the street lights, they saw everything. They were wowed. Now imagine if Europeans, if they were wowed, if they were mesmerized by the progress, the civilization of a kingdom as Benin in the 1400s. Now imagine how that kingdom, how that place would have been today if it was not disrupted. Now think, if Europe didn't disrupt our civilization, our progress, our development, where do you think Africa would have been today?